All right, let's write the first part of our real estate data mining application. And we'll follow my standard convention of having a main method at the top here, and then using the main live template in PyCharm to sort of use the proper import safe way of invoking it. Now we're going to do a couple things. We're going to, as always, define a print header, and we'll just print out some basic stuff as usual. So here's a standard header, which we'll call from up here. The next thing we need to do is get the data file. So let's write a method, not the actual data, but just the file name for the data. So notice down here, let's talk about where we're getting our data from. We have a data subfolder next to our program, and we have the Sacramento real estate transactions for 2008. So this turns out to be all of the real estate transactions that I could find for Sacramento in 2008. Personal individuals, no business stuff. So we want access to this file. Now, we want to use, again, our OS, so we'll import OS. And a lot of times we've been saying path.join, and we would give it something like dot for the current directory, and then we would say data, and then we would say the name of this. And in PyCharm, you can hit Control-T, and it gives you a rename, which is probably the easiest way to just copy the name there. But this dot assumes that we're always using the working directory just above the data folder. We always want to look right next to this program for its data, no matter where it's running. So let's get the base folder a different way. So we'll say base folder is os.path.dirname. And remember, there's an under file, a dunder file, sort of implicit variable for every module that's going to say, here's the full path. So we'll get the base folder, and then we can just put base folder here. All right, so now it doesn't matter where we're running our code. We'll always get back to this. And then we'll just return that. Let's do a little format really quick, and let's get the file. Let's call it file name. We'll say get data file, and then just let's print this out really quick. All right, that looks correct. I have it on my desktop, and then here's our 09 real estate data, so on. Perfect. So that should work for getting us the file. Now the next thing to do, instead of this, is to actually load the data. So I'll just say data like this, and we'll come back to what that means. So I'll just say load file. So we're going to do this in a couple of ways. We'll start out with like a really basic way, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more. Okay, so we got our data sketched out, and the very last thing we're going to do after we load it up, maybe we'll print it out for a minute, but I guess we could go ahead and write query data, and that'll just spit out the report or so on. So we'll feed it data like so. And that's the last method we'll write, and then move on. So there we have the basic structure for our app. And I don't know if I've shown you this for a while in PyCharm, but over here you can actually see the structure and jump around if you like. That's kind of handy. Even better when you have classes and hierarchies and these sorts of things. So next, we're going to work on load data and actually parsing our CSV file.